I know there's a lot of reading. It's just there's so much good stuff, so it's tough to pick and choose what you're going to talk about, what you're not going to talk about in this chapter. So this chapter here, you really get to see David in the middle of a crisis, and the best way to see how somebody really is to see how they handle a crisis. Like when things are going really good, it's easy to see, someone at their best. But when things are going wrong, or when things are not going your way, or when tragedy has happened, then we really see who you really are. I mean, people, when they really go through it, then that's we'll see who you really, really are. And David right now is going through a serious, serious tragedy, and we get to see who he is. And who he is, who he was a great man. He was a great man. And throughout this chapter, we see him dealing with people and how he handled people in the middle of his tragedy. And he wasn't perfect. I don't think he handled every situation in this chapter correctly. We'll point out some of the things that I think maybe he could have done better. But the truth is, he gets an A+. He gets an A+ through this whole chapter, how he handled, how he acted in a tragedy. Think about it. How do you act in tragedy? Things don't go your way and you lose your mind, you have a bad attitude, you can't handle it, oh my gosh, the orange juice isn't cold, why doesn't the AC work better? You're just losing your mind. And it's not even a tragedy, but you can't handle it. You can't handle things not going your way. It's not good. David here has gone through tragedy, and the way he responds is not perfect, but really, really great. So I want to point out in the very beginning of the chapter, two different people, Joab and David. Joab is the captain of David's army, but he's also David's nephew. So they're related, but he works for the king. Sort of. He sort of works for the king. Sometimes Joab just does whatever he wants, and David says one thing, and Joab goes and does the complete opposite. And he did that all throughout David's life and David's reign and all throughout this book. And this part right here is one of the times when he did that. If you remember, what am I saying? You don't remember. Absalom is David's son, and Absalom is dead. Does anybody remember how Absalom died? Dylan?
He got caught by a snare on a tree, and then one of David's servants took an arrow.
Who was the servant that did that? Does anybody know? Does anybody want to guess? Luciano, yes? Anybody else guess? Sila? Joab. Joab killed him. The guy that's about to come to David saying, why are you upset? You shouldn't be upset. How dare you be mad? All the people, if you don't come outside, we're leaving you. He's the one that killed Absalom. Before they went to battle, David specifically said, look, I don't care really who you get, who you don't get. I want us to win the battle, but what I really want, please don't hurt my son. He specifically said, please don't hurt my son. And Joab heard that, and it went in one ear, and it went out the other. And he didn't really care. Like, I don't care. Absalom deserves to die. Did Absalom deserve to die? Yeah, he deserved to die. He rebelled against his father. Treason. And you try to kill your own dad? Yeah, you deserve to die. But David said, I want you to show him mercy. I'm not ready to say bye to my son. There's so much we have left to be said. I have not handled this situation right. My son has been gone for years. Yes, he started a rebellion. But you know what? All this started because his sister got raped and I didn't do anything about it. So I understand I have a lot of fault here. So please don't hurt my son. I'm not ready to say bye to him. And Joab heard that, looked at it and said, yeah, I don't agree with that. I really don't care what you say, David. He deserves to die. So when I see him, I'm going to kill him. And I don't really care. And now he has the audacity to come to David and be like, why are you upset? How dare you be upset? What are you crying about? I think that if we all died and Absalom lived, you would have been happy with that. Joab has zero empathy. What is empathy? That's a big word. He doesn't care how other people feel about the situation. We all have a point of view in here. You all have a POV, right? You see a situation one way. Sometimes the way you see a situation is right, but sometimes the way you see a situation is not right. You're what's called biased. You know what bias means? It means you're really close to a situation and you have feelings about it. If there's someone in here that you don't like, the first time they do something wrong, you lose your mind. See, I told you they're a terrible person. Well, hang on. You already don't like them. Let's take someone's opinion who maybe is not so biased. And the fact is, we all have areas that we're biased in. We all have areas that we feel a certain way about it. Sometimes the way you feel is right on the money. You feel this way, and it's also reality. But there's times where it's actually not reality. You're just very biased. Joab here, he could only see the situation from his eyes. He could not see it from David's point of view. This is the sign of someone who is not a good Christian. Joab may not even been a Christian at all. I don't really know. Not a very good person, but especially someone who's immature. Now, you as young people in here, naturally, you're going to see things the way you see them. That's okay. We all have a point of view. We all are going to see things a certain way. We're all going to feel a certain way about situations. We're all going to feel a certain way about people. But maturity is being able to take your point of view off and try and see it from somebody else's point of view. You know that person who maybe is just an awful person to you? If you put yourselves in their shoes, you might realize maybe they're not so bad. Maybe I actually would have done something similar to what they did. Maybe if I was in their shoes, if I grew up in their home, if I had that person for my father, if I had the poverty, if I went through the trauma they went, whatever, if I had been them, maybe I would have been like them. Now, I don't want to excuse what they do. I'm not saying what they're doing is okay, but maybe I should try and see it from their point of view. When you can do that, you, my friend, are on your way to being a mature Christian. Mature Christian is able to see it from somebody else's point of view. Now, that's not always easy, especially when we're involved in the situation. Somebody wrongs me. I want blood. I want revenge. I want you. You need to pay, buddy. Maturity is me seeing it from their point of view. Why did they do what they did? Joab didn't have that. Joab could care less. He could care less how David felt. He doesn't feel bad about killing Absalom. He doesn't care at all. He's upset that David is upset. Listen, if all you do is see it from your point of view, you never see where your parents are coming from. You never see where your mom is coming from. You never see where your dad is coming from. You never see where your brother or sister are coming from. You never see where your friends are coming from. You're a shallow person. That's all there is to it. You just are. You're just shallow. All you see it is from your point of view. You're like Joab. You cannot see how anybody else feels about stuff. And you don't care. I don't care how anybody feels. I'll say what I want to say. I'll do what I want to do. I'll go where I want to go. And I don't really care how that makes you feel. And we think that makes us like some kind of tough person. That makes us like this mighty person. No, it doesn't. It makes you a shallow, immature, ignorant person. That's what it makes you. Nothing impressive about it. I'm not impressed by someone's like, well, I don't really care what you say or what you think. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes we all get mad and we say things we don't mean. But if you have that attitude through life, I don't care who it hurts. I don't care how you feel. I don't care. I don't see it your point of view, so I don't really care. You're just shallow. That's all. David here, his heart is broken. His son is dead. He never got a chance to say goodbye. He never got a chance to say, I'm sorry. He never got a chance to say, you know what, Absalom, this entire time you've been right. I should have done something more for your sister. I should have handled the situation better. And then when I brought you back, I didn't talk to you for 2 years. And I didn't talk to you for 2 years because I was still upset. I was still mad that you killed your brother. I was still upset about it. But you know what? I should have done something more. And I can't take back the 2 years, but I can tell you I'm sorry. And I imagine David probably played that over in his head so many times. And now he can't say it. Now he'll never get to say it because his son is dead. My guess is when we all get to heaven, Absalom won't be up there. I don't know that. That's just my opinion. David never got to see his son again. When he got to heaven, some of his sons were up there. The baby he lost after Bathsheba, that baby was up there. Solomon was probably up there despite all the stupidity. Absalom, I don't think, is up there. Absalom's down there, I think. David never got to say bye, and he's heartbroken. And Joab comes to him, and Joab, slimy, sneaky little snake, did have one small point, and that was all of the people have come in, and they have been fighting, and they have been warring, and you don't even want to see them. They're sneaking in like they lost the battle. They're like tiptoeing in like, shh, quiet. We don't want anybody to hear we're here. They just won a big victory. The kingdom is saved. We should be celebrating. We should be having a party. We should be roasting that big old fat pig that has the apple, right? We should have like the bouncy house and the mechanical bull. I mean, we should be like really throwing a party. And we're not. Everybody is sneaking in. Shh, quiet. They're all ashamed. And they're all ashamed because you won't go out there and you won't tell them, David, that you're proud of them. David doesn't want to tell them he's proud. David's heartbroken. The last thing he wants to do is go out there and tell everybody, hey, great job. Hey, good job. And punch, hey, good job, man. Really proud of you. It's the last thing he wants to do. He wants to stay in his room. He wants to lock the door. He wants to turn the music up. He wants to eat a whole tub of ice cream by himself and watch his favorite Netflix show. The last thing he wants to do is go talk to the people. What does he do? He gets up and he goes out there and he talks to the people. And the people come very gingerly. And he just says to them, good job. And they're all able to see him. And that was what they needed. One of the things I hate the most about your generation, I don't know when it happened, but at some point this clearly happened. And it is the mindset of most young people. I see it all the time. Here's what the mindset is. If I want to do something, I will do it. And I say this a lot. And if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. And you have this idea in your head that you only have to do what you want to do. And if you don't want to do something, you're not required to do it. Can I tell you, lose that attitude quick. If you're going to be successful, if you're going to be a good father, a good mother, a good husband, a good Christian, a good person, you're going to have to do things you don't want to do. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do it sometimes, all the time. Let me tell you what, you're going to have a job at some point, and you're going to have a job that you don't like. We can't all be Jaden and have a really cool job like a waiter. Jaden just walks around with these trays and everyone's like throwing money at him and stuff like that. And then he gets free ribs. I mean, come on. Doesn't get better than that. Some of you are going to get a crummy job. You're going to get a stinky job. It's going to be lame-o job. And it's going to be hard work. And it's going to pay you very little. And you're going to say, I don't feel like going in today. I'm going to call in sick. Sorry, I can't go in. Listen, I mean, I get it, I guess. I've had jobs that I've hated. I've had many jobs that I've hated. At some point, the little switch has to get flipped where you realize, I don't want to go into work, but I have to do it. And so even though I don't want to do it, I'm going to go do it. This room is filled with people, your parents hate their jobs. They do it because they love you. You think they get up in the morning like, woo, get to go to the job today. Yeah, I can't wait. Get to go sit in traffic for an hour and a half. And then when the day's over and I'm dead tired, I get to do it again. Come right back another hour and a half. Get home when the sun's already down. Get up before the sun's up. Get paid a lousy wage and pay gas that's almost $6 a gallon. Yes, I love it. No, they don't like it. They hate it. They do it because they love you. They do it because they're supposed to do it. Sometimes what you're supposed to do, you don't want to do it. So throw that attitude out that I only do what I want to do. And if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. I'll tell you what, if you text me and you tell me, hey, Pastor, I just don't want to go to church tonight. It depends how much time I have. If I have time to drive to your house, I will. Sometimes you get lucky and I don't have time because we're going to be like super late. So you're off the hook. If I have time, I'm showing up at your house because that's not an excuse. I don't want to go. I don't care. I don't care if you want to come. It's what you're supposed to do. We have to learn. We have to do things that we don't want to do, but we're supposed to do it. That's being a big person. That's being a Christian and an adult. You think tomorrow I'm looking forward to hauling all these chairs over there? Actually, I kind of am. I'm actually really excited about it, to be honest. I don't even care. I'm going to be really happy all day. I'm excited about it. But yeah, there are absolutely times I don't feel like doing something, but it's what I'm supposed to do. I don't even consider it. It's not even an option to not do it. I despise when we have to cancel things. People will text me, are we still having this? Why would we not have that? What's wrong with you? Of course we're having that. Why would we not? I remember many years ago, it was raining and some of the teenagers texted me. I forget who it was. I think it might have been, if I haven't been Emily Howard, most of you don't even know who that is, but I think she texted me and she was like, are we still having church tonight? Why wouldn't we? Because it's pouring. Because it's pouring? Periana was like laughing, of course we're having church. We don't cancel stuff. Why? Because we're supposed to do it. So if you're supposed to do it, do it. If tomorrow you have to go to school and I don't feel like going to school, nobody cares. Get up and go. And if in a week when you all go back to school or 2 weeks you come and you have homework, well, I don't feel like doing my homework. Nobody cares. Do it. You're supposed to do it, so do the homework. Mom says, hey, take out the trash. That's not time for you to sit and think, do I really feel like walking all the way to the dumpster? That wasn't the question. It was go do it. So you get up off your lazy, blessed assurance and you go take the trash out. This is not up for negotiation. This is not let me see how I feel. This is you are supposed to do it, so go do it. When you are given a task, do it. It's not about if I want to do it, I don't want to. Lose that mindset. I hate that we have that mindset. Okay, I need to hasten here. It's already 9:12. All right, a little bit further, and we'll just go over this real quick. David here, he's going to have a mishmash. After Joab tells him what he tells him, David gets mad. David doesn't say it to Joab's face, though. He instead kind of goes around the corner and he says to this Amasa guy, who is also related to David. Joab is David's nephew. He goes to the other side of the family and says, Amasa, you're related to me too. I want you to be captain of the guard. That's a great idea. Joab stinks, is not loyal, whatever. David never confronted Joab about it. I don't know if he was scared. I don't know if it was too hard for him to do it. It was too awkward. I don't know. Instead, he goes to Amasa and says, hey, you're the new guy. And he never tells Joab. Spoiler alert, Joab kills Amasa in the next chapter. That was kind of a bummer. That was a bad idea, David. And then Joab takes over as captain of the guard again. And it isn't until David is on his deathbed that he finally tells Solomon, will you please kill Joab? I should have done it years ago. I don't know why I didn't. That's a good question, David. Why didn't you do it? Listen, handle stuff head on. Don't sneaky snake around. Don't, sweep it under the rug. We be sweeping stuff too much under the rug. I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes it's so much easier to just go the other way. I don't feel like dealing with it right now. I can't face them right now. I can't this. I can't that. Forget that. Handle it head on. Why do we keep putting stuff off? Keep putting stuff off. Who knows? If David would have confronted Joab, maybe they could have fixed this relationship. But Joab was so mad at David that David was sad about Absalom. And David was so mad at Joab that he didn't care, that their relationship splintered off and it was never the same. Joab kept killing people David tried to replace him with. And in the end, David signed Joab's death warrant and said, I've been too much of a chicken to kill him. Solomon, you do it. And Solomon said, okay, Dad. And he killed Joab. He didn't do it. He had one of his men do it. That relationship probably could have got fixed years earlier if they just would have talked to each other. So if you have an issue with somebody, especially somebody close to you, just deal with it. Stop sweeping under the rug. Stop punting the ball. Stop waiting. Stop putting it off. Handle it head on. Why do we do that? Why do we wait? But we do. We wait. David, he gets kind of a C on that one, the way he handled that. Then he goes with this Shimea guy. Shimea is the one that cursed David, threw rocks at him and stuff like that. And then he comes to apologize. And David handles it well. He forgives the guy. He cuts the guy some slack. Sometimes, guys, we got to cut people some slack. Sometimes they need a break. Where none of us is perfect, we all mess up. The next one I want to point out, and we'll end with this one right here, kind of a dual one. Mephibosheth comes. Now, I know many of you don't remember who Mephibosheth is. I don't know how that's possible with a name like Mephibosheth. I mean, how can you ever forget that name? Mephibosheth was the son of Jonathan. Remember when he was a baby? The nurse was running with him, and I don't mean to make a joke here, but she literally dropped him while she was carrying him, and he was lame after that. I don't mean like he had a bad personality. I mean like he couldn't walk. He couldn't walk anymore. There was no cure for that. So when you couldn't walk, you can't work a job, you're just destined to be poor. That was Jonathan's son. If you remember who Jonathan was, that was David's best friend. That was the guy that stuck his neck out for him. That was the guy that defended him from Saul. That was the guy that gave him gifts. That was the guy that was like the most loyal friend ever. Okay? Mephibosheth is his lame son who can't walk, and David took care of Mephibosheth, fed him. Then when David had to run away, Ziba, Mephibosheth's servant, showed up and told David, Mephibosheth is trying to take over the kingdom. He doesn't like you, David. He's trying to be king. We haven't seen Mephibosheth for all these chapters. Now here comes Mephibosheth. He's on a donkey. If you're lame, how do you get on a donkey? That's really tough. You ever try to just get on a horse, like with legs? That's hard enough. Try doing it with no legs sometime. Next time you go horseback riding, just be on your knees and try and get on that thing. That'd be really hard, wouldn't it? So Mephibosheth somehow is on a donkey. The Bible said he had not shaved. He had not bathed. He was like some of you guys at camp, right? Didn't shower the whole week. You know who you are. I heard about you, sir. So he's wearing the same clothes. He hasn't shaved. You ever been with someone who hasn't bathed in a long time? That smell. I've smelled dead bodies before. Not of people, weirdos, but like animals and stuff. I did see a dead guy in Chicago one time. That was enough. We didn't go smell him though. Anyway, but I've smelled dead flesh. That's awful. A close second is someone who has not bathed in a really long time. I mean, that's a smell just like stings the nostrils. Like you can smell them a mile away. I was in the DMV one time and this homeless guy came in and he tried to get a new license. They kept stealing from him and beating him up and stealing his license. And I felt so bad for him. And then I smelled him and I had to go this way. I'm sorry. I was praying for him over there though. I was praying. But man, the odor was really, really strong, right? You know what I'm talking about? Mephibosheth hasn't bathed. He stinks, beard. Ziba said he was trying to make himself king. Mephibosheth said, that stinking liar took off on me left me alone in the house. What was I supposed to do? I can't walk. Now, between those two stories, which one seems more likely? The fact that the crippled guy is trying to become the king, or the fact that his servant left him, and without a servant to help him, he couldn't get around. That's why he hasn't bathed, that's why he hasn't shaved. I vote Mephibosheth seems a lot more likely. Mephibosheth comes to the king, and the king is mad. He says, where have you been? I went and hid. Where were you at this entire time? Mephibosheth says, you'll never believe my servant. He lied. He left me hanging out to dry. He left me. I'm lame. I couldn't do anything. It took me 3 hours to get on this stupid donkey to come see you, king. But here I am. And the king says, why are you complaining to me? Why are you whining to me? He's not whining. If you look at everything Mephibosheth said, he said, I'm so glad you're alive. God bless that the king's alive. And when David says, I don't know why you're complaining to me. I've already given half your stuff away. You and Ziba split it. He says, we don't have to split it. He can have all of it. I'm just happy you're alive. And David says, quit complaining. Stop whining to me. I don't want to hear your story anymore. I don't see anything in there where Mephibosheth was whining, complaining, nothing like that. Why was David so upset? Because this is the son of Jonathan. Jonathan was David's best friend. Mephibosheth, Jonathan's son. The only thing David has left of Jonathan means a lot to him. And David was disappointed that Mephibosheth was not with him. Was that Mephibosheth's fault? I don't think so. Could Mephibosheth have done anything about it? I don't think so. But because David cared so much about Mephibosheth, it bothered him more. Shimei, the guy that cursed David, threw rocks at him. David could care less. I don't even like that guy. I don't care what he says. But the guy that I do like, the guy that I love, he can hurt me a lot more. You know the people that can hurt you the most are the ones you care about the most? I know, it's a really evil twist of fate there. That when you care about them the most, they have the ability to hurt you the most. And a lot of times, they shouldn't be the ones that hurt you the most. But they are. Now, when that happens, and somebody that you really love hurts you, and it frustrates you, because it's like, I love you. You're not supposed to be the one that hurts me. You're supposed to be the one that's on my side. You're supposed to be the last one that hurts me. We have a tendency to be like David, and we lash out because we're so hurt. We're so hurt by this person that we care about that we forget about all the reasons why we cared about them. The person that you don't like, can't stand them, they can say whatever they want to you, do whatever you want to you, and you have so much patience. You don't really even care. They called you all these mean, nasty names. They threw a brick through your window. That's what insurance is for. I don't really care. Called you fat, and this dress makes you look fat. Well, buy one with stripes. Wear darker colors. Like, you don't even care. But then somebody that you love, they do something to you, cuts you deep. So what do? You cut them off. I'm not going to talk to you. You're upset. They come, hey, can I talk to you? Why don't you stop whining to me? Why don't you stop bothering me? I have a lot going on right now, all right? You're just like David. David's freaking out on poor Mephibosheth. Here comes old stinky, smelly Mephibosheth. I tried to get to you quick as I could. Why don't you stop whining to me, Mephibosheth? You got problems. I got problems too, buddy. All right? Stop asking about your stuff. Oh, I didn't ask about the stuff. He can have it all. Shut up. I don't want to hear more about your problems, all right? I got a lot of things going on. David is not himself. Why? Mephibosheth cut him deeply. Wasn't even Mephibosheth's fault. But because he meant so much to him, it hurt him so much. The people that mean the most to you can hurt you the most. So listen, before you cut them off, before you throw in the towel on them, I'd like to remind you why you cared about them so much. Why? What was it? Those things have not changed. Why was Mephibosheth so dear to David? Because of Jonathan. Mephibosheth not being able to be with David, did it change any of those things? No, it didn't change any of those things. And these people you care about the most, who can hurt you the most, none of the reasons why you love them have changed. They have still done all these things for you. They still have been there for you so many times. They still have helped you in so many ways. So don't be not yourself and realize, I do love this person. I do care about this person. We need to try and figure this out. All right, there's more in this chapter. It's already 9:20. Let's end. Do anything for tonight. Thank you for these young people. I pray, God, you would just help us, Lord, as we continue with the life of David. And what a great man he was. So many wonderful things he did. I pray, God, you would just help us, Lord, to be more like David and not like Joab, to see things from other people's point of view, to sometimes do things that we don't want to do, but it's the right thing to do, to be forgiving to those that wrong us. And in some cases, when it's somebody that we love a lot, they're able to hurt us a lot. that instead of cutting them off, being upset, being rude, and lashing out, we would instead remember why we love them so much and why a relationship is worth fighting for. We'll give the praise and glory for your name, I pray. Amen.